What's going on, everyone? I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on Season 2 of The Boys. This video will be spoiling the hell out of Season 2 and I guess Season 1 of The Boys, so if you haven't watched it yet, what are you doing with your life? Go watch now! If you want a super quick non-spoiler review, then I think The Boys Season 2 builds nicely on the world and characters set up from the first season, and does enough different this time around to keep things fresh and fun. It's got great action scenes and it's hilarious throughout the whole experience. Okay, now go watch now please, go, bye-bye. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and make bloody sure that you subscribe to the channel, yeah? Or I'll come to your house and I'll do you in. Alrighty, so The Boys Season 2. Man, this show is so goddamn good. So the first thing I want to talk about with Season 2 is the story. So overall, the story in Season 2 felt, I'd say, wider, if that makes sense. Just in terms of its overall plot complexity and like characters. I think Season 1 heavily relied on the fact that it was new. It was a new experience, a new show. It had that, you know, sort of shocking factor of, oh shit, this is like the Justice League if they're a bunch of assholes. Like, you know, it kind of had that to rely on, where I think Season 2 had to bring a more interesting plot. And I think they did that this time around. The pacing was really good in this, I felt. There was no episode where I was kind of like, oh man, that was a bit of a slow episode, or that was a bit of a filler episode, especially compared to some other shows I recently watched. I love that the showrunners didn't have to up the ante in terms of like bigger and grosser and more messed up and stuff like that. Because obviously there was a lot of really, really messed up shit that happened in the first season that was like, you know, shocking and disgusting, and you get that in this season. You get really great, gross, shocking moments that you don't expect, but it doesn't throw too much at you. It doesn't force it in. The showrunners weren't like, well, Homelander killed 100 people last season, so this season he must kill 1 million. I don't feel like they forced any of those scenes into the show just to have them because, oh, this is The Boys and Season 1 was so gross and check out Season 2 where we're even grosser. It's like, no, like they didn't feel the need to go over the top with it, and I really liked that. I appreciated that, you know? So I want to talk about the characters of the show for a minute. First up, goddamn Billy Butcher, dude. This was for sure like Billy Butcher's season, you know what I mean? Like the whole season plot almost revolved around Butcher. Like you obviously had the sort of B plot with the supervillain terrorists, and obviously you had Stormfront showing up and everything, but I feel like the central Billy's wife still being alive and the kid and all that sort of, I think that storyline they did extremely well, and it really centered around Butcher and I guess Homelander to an extent, which I really dug. But man, Butcher, dude, like I could watch a whole show of just Billy Butcher narrating himself taking a shit. Like, he's that entertaining of a character. I just love him so much, and I want more. And speaking of Butcher's season, man, like that ending, obviously with Season 1 we had that like really crazy cliffhanger ending of finding out that like Homelander had the son with the wife and she's alive, and that was pretty crazy awesome. But like I really loved this season's ending with that shock value of, oh shit, the kid, you know, messes up Stormfront. he absolutely obliterates Stormfront, but then Butcher's there all concussed and stuff, and he looks over at him and the son's just like, oh, I'm sorry, mum. And I'm like, oh no. And it pans up and she's f***ing bleeding out the neck and shit. And I'm like, oh no, dude. Like, it just killed me. I was like, damn. Like, I thought she would probably have to die most likely, because of, you know, Billy as a character. He has to obviously stay in the show and be a bit of a aggressive for lack of a better word. So I kind of was expecting it, but it happened in such a good way, and it was filmed so well, and the acting was so great. But yeah. Alright, so next up, Homelander and Stormfront, man, when they're together, like when they're on screen together, I get uneasy. Like I get uneasy sitting there watching, because I'm just waiting for them to do like really messed up shit, you know? Like it's eerie. It's like it's almost scary, because it's like as soon as they're on screen, I don't feel safe. Also, Frenchie and Kimiko, I loved their relationship development throughout this season, you know? Like him wanting to learn the language that her and her brother spoke, like the sign language, and I thought that was done really well. And his backstory revolving around Lamplighter and how he feels like really guilty about that and everything, I thought that was done really, really awesomely. And sort of like Kimiko's like revenge and anger throughout the season. Speaking of Lamplighter, I really thought he was going to almost join the team in the end, you know? After they kind of like kidnap / rescue him from the hospital, and he comes back to the hideout with them, I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Like, we've got got Kimiko with her like Wolverine powers, and now we'll have Lamplighter on the team. But obviously the boys likes to pull that rug out underneath you, and as they go up to the tower, and he's like, oh man, they took down my statue, like I really would have liked to do it in front of that. And I was like, uh-oh, here we go. Goodbye. I thought either like he was gonna kill himself, or he was gonna kill Huey, or some was gonna go down. But yeah, I do actually have a negative with the show, which it's not a big negative, but I thought was a bit of wasted potential, was the church side plot, the church plot with the Deep and A-Train. I liked that it was about them trying to get back in the 7, and then obviously A-Train eventually gets back in, which is awesome. And then the Deep's kind of just left out in the open, like, oh well, I didn't get in. And I thought, oh okay, you know, they'll expand that in the next season. And then like at the end of the show, the head explodey bitch just explodes the dude's head that's running it. And I was like, oh, I thought, like it seemed like they were going somewhere with that. And I don't know if, because I haven't read the comics, but I don't know if it does eventually go somewhere. But I just thought it was a little bit of wasted potential when it first started up with the Deep and like the Freshka cans, and it was all like almost like cult, and it was like a cult sort of thing. Like I was like, oh, this is so different and interesting. And then yeah, I just felt like the season ended with like, oh cool, A-Train's back in the 7, fuck you Deep, you know, sorry mate. So like I'm excited to see what the Deep will do next, but I was kind of like, why didn't we get more of the church? Like, why didn't we not get more of the church, but why is it still not continuing? Very, very strange, I don't know. But we'll have to see, maybe in season 3. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts. I wanted to make this a quick one. I didn't want to drag on too much with it. I really, really loved it. This show is absolutely incredible, man, as I said. And like, I thought they just did a fantastic job with season 2. I was hanging on each new episode that came out every week. I was so excited to pop it on, and here's to a awesome season 3, hopefully in the future. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll have another TV Talk episode up next week on another show, but you'll have to stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.